Everyone, how you doing? Corey Coleman here. It's broad daylight here. I don't know if you can tell, but it is the middle of the day. Whenever I say it's the middle of the day, then that means that we have somebody very special here. And today, this is at least very special for me, but it has to be very special for all of you out there because you're a huge fan of this movie we're about to talk about. And this movie is celebrating its 20th anniversary. And the person who directed that film is Vicky Jenson. Vicky, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. Good to talk to you, Corey.
Yeah, Vicky is the director of Shrek. Also, you co-directed Shark Tale, and you've worked in the animation industry for years. You have been a storyboard artist, a background artist. You've been, of course, an animator. You have directed films. So you're pretty much a multi-talented, do it all kind of person.
Well, some of that's true. Not all of it. Actually, I'm not an animator. I don't have the patience. I've painted backgrounds. I storyboard for sure, production design, but animation was just, I think I tried a part of a scene. I went, no way.
Hey, listen, I'm so happy to hear you say that. I had wanted to be, the viewers here have heard me say this. All my life, I dreamed of being an animator until it became a nightmare for me. I did it and I realized I just don't have the talent for it. So it's really cool to hear someone who is as tremendously talented as yourself saying the same thing. Because I feel really terrible when I talk to really talented animators, man, because I couldn't hack it.
Well, that's the thing about directing is that you get to become kind of an expert at everything without actually being the one doing it. You get to learn whatever the subject matter of the movie is. You're working with every department, with music, and you get to have opinions about everything, but you don't actually have to be the one doing it. Oh, and to be accurate, I directed Shrek along with Andrew Adamson.
Yeah, co-directed. And you know what? I'll get to where I thought you were an animator in a little bit, because that was somewhere where I thought you were. So that makes me very interested to know what you did on this particular project, which we'll be talking about hopefully pretty soon. But listen, even though you might not be an animator, you are walking animation history itself. Shrek alone, whether you directed or co-directed it, that is a huge accomplishment right there. Shrek right now, for those who don't know, because I didn't know all this, it won the first Academy Award for Best Animated Feature. Am I correct on that? Yeah.
That's the first time the category was created.
And also, Shrek, it's in the Library of Congress, along with huge films in there. The first non-Disney animated film to be in the Library of Congress.
That I didn't know. It was the first non-Disney animated.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm telling you something you don't know? Well, that makes me feel kind of special. Let me ask you this. With all those accolades, just for that movie alone, did you see your career take a huge shift, or your life take a quick shift for the better?
It did that year for sure, and following it did. As far as who was approaching me for work and what scripts that were being sent, and agents saying, let me represent you, and all of that stuff for sure, and getting to go to Cannes, and in animation, we don't usually get to do all the stuff that big movies do, right? We don't go on location in preparation. A couple of movies get to do that. I was on Fern Gully, and we got to go to Australia, for a month or so to do research and artwork, and eventually got our financing right then during our research trip. But generally, like with Shrek, we didn't go anywhere. We didn't even go to medieval times, do any research on knights or whatever. It pretty much, animation is kind of like you make it and people watch it, and nobody celebrates the filmmakers, and that's changed a lot over the years. So it was really fun to be part of that world on the PR circuit, and especially Cannes and our premiere. So fun.
Yeah, did you feel kind of cheated at the time that you didn't get to go to all these places? I mean, because animation, that takes as much work as it does for a live action movie. I mean, sometimes a little bit harder and more patience, as you said.
Yeah, no, we got to go. We did do all of it on Shrek.
Oh, but that was one of the first times that that was happening.
Yeah, yeah. Typically, it doesn't happen. I don't think an animated film had been at Cannes for a really, really long time. I honestly don't remember now what the last one was before us.
Yeah. So do you think like Shrek broke ground for animation directors to be taken a little bit more seriously?
Maybe I think honestly I would probably credit somebody like Tim Burton and before he moved to live action and Brad Bird is a household name because of Incredibles and the Iron Giant. I mean for the Iron Giant, all of us in animation totally knew who he was and felt like he got short shrift for the Iron Giant. He didn't get the recognition at the time, but once Incredibles came out, he became a household word, and people, start to understand, oh, animation, yes, it's a huge team sport, but there's also, a conductor.
Yeah. Yeah. Just to go into a little bit more of Shrek, I did not know this, that at one time, now, Mike Myers, he is Shrek now. I mean, if there's one character that everybody knows Mike Myers for, it is Shrek. We can't even separate those two at this point. But something that I didn't know, and if I am wrong, correct me here, Chris Farley had done most of the voice work for Shrek before Mike Myers came in. And tragically, of course, he died. Is this true?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he had done a pass of it. The story really, really changed drastically. In the development stages of any animated movie, in a lot of ways, it's like the writing stages when a writer has their own script and they just rewrite, rework, and rewrite before anybody sees anything. So Chris had done a version of Shrek, and one or two scenes, a version of them remain in the movie, the script-wise, like the famous one of ogres are like onions. So there's a test of Chris Farley where some animation had been done to a test of him doing that scene with Eddie, and I think you can find it on the interwebs of Chris doing that scene. Ogres are like onions.
Yeah, I actually have a little bit of that right here. I don't know if I'll get to the onions part, but I definitely have that part right here.
Nothing like a fire and a noble romantic mission to warm the cockles of your heart.
Fartwad gets his princess. I get what I want.
It's funny because I had read that. See, that's why I want to know, because I read a lot of things and I realize things in preparation for these interviews, and then I'll find out that something still is different. Because I had read that he had actually done a lot of voice work on that, and that after he died and the project, it kind of changed. And I read that you had actually said that I'm not sure if I want to stick around for this because the story had changed so much. I had read that you almost quit the project, but I guess that's not true.
No, in fact, I wasn't on the project when Chris Farley was Shrek.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
And I came on the movie, after he passed away, they had a screening. So yes, he had recorded a whole version. And the version that I saw was a bit, it wasn't fine. It hadn't found its feet. Shrek was someone who wanted to be a knight, and this is natural in an animated movie that in the early stages we try things out. You go down these different alleys until you hit the story wall and go, well, that's not really going to work, or it's really hard with the main character finding the right tone for them. So this was a very, very early pass at the movie. It would have been a screening just in all storyboard, and there were a few scenes in it that were really funny and totally weird ass out there, and they were very Ren and Stimpy like, and of course they were storyboarded by some of the people I worked with on Ren and Stimpy. Conrad Vernon, who went on to work on other Shrek movies, and Cody Cameron and Ken Bruce. These are some of my pals from Ren and Stimpy days, and these sequences were so funny. And I was in the screening, I was laughing at those. They were talking to me about coming in to help with storyboard. I had just finished up work as a production designer, one of the production designers on El Dorado. And they were like, well, we don't know how to get these action adventure, this is the movie. How do we get those weird ass scenes into the same tone as the action adventure. And I'm like, ew, get rid of the action adventure. Just do that. That's what you're doing. And so, so I came in after that, after Chris Farley passed away. We didn't have Mike Myers. In fact, it was a bunch of us who said, well, what about Mike? He's really great. He had done, Wayne's World, but Austin Powers, I don't think it had come out yet.
Mm-hmm.
So he hadn't quite hit in the giant way that he was about to, but we were all huge fans. So, it didn't take that much convincing to the studio to give him, to talk to him, to ask him if he'd be Shrek. And it took a redesign on the character.
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask you, too, if they had to redesign the character based on Mike coming in and doing that. But you just answered that right there. What I do want to ask you about is, and I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I think I've seen like some, because everybody, look, Shrek is incredible. Shrek is amazing. I mean, it's legendary. And I don't think you have a lot of haters out there on Shrek, unless they're hipsters who just hate everything that's popular. But there does seem to be this slight backlash on the animation. People are saying that the animation seems like it's outdated today. And again, that's not everybody. There's some people, they say it seems outdated. It seems like, it didn't age too well. Some people say, man, I love the movie, but I don't know that the animation, if they remade it, could use another pass or whatever. But have you heard this? And if so, how do you react to that?
Oh, you mean the animation of the original movie?
The original movie, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I mean, even at the time, I would hear things like that, like, oh, Pixar's better and stuff. And look, we had, all of us in animation, we all know each other. We've worked at all the studios sometimes, so that argument, I don't buy it. But you got to remember CG animation was really, really new.
Yeah.
And both Pixar and DreamWorks, we were dealing with very similar problems about, like, nobody really knew how to do skin, give it the translucence. Hair was really elusive, and took forever to render things like donkey fur and stuff like that. So all of this was really, really new. And the proprietary system of animation they had where we animated this, a company called PDI, was their own system. And the only one of our best animators, our lead animator, Raman, he's been directing things like Monster Hunt, just amazing guy. And he described it once as it's like sculpting. You have a box with holes in it. You put your hands in the box, and you can't see what you're sculpting, but you start to shape something. Then you take your hands out, lift the box up, and then see, oh, I'll have to fix that. Put the box down, put your hands back in, and fix something, and then pull them out and wait another 10 minutes, pull it out. So they were working with numbers and not real time, armatures. I mean, the armatures were there, but the controls were just so, difficult. I can't believe they got anything to look alive.
I mean, but it's still, for the majority of people out there, it still holds up. And that's for the power of a lot of things. I mean, the storytelling and everything.
Amazing,
Yeah.
They were great. They were great animators. And we tried to give them a story that was really worthwhile, that it had something to say. And you could really feel it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, like I said, there's a reason why Shrek's still up. It's very popular today. Let's move on from Shrek, and I want to talk to you about something that I grew up with, that you worked on, and you worked on something that I've been bringing this up and talking to this about our viewers a lot today, because we have such a young crowd. They don't know some of these things exist, and I don't know why. You're probably going to be the first person to hear me say this, but I was just downright giddy to know that you had worked on, and again, correct me if I'm wrong if you did not, but I read that you worked on the Gary Coleman Show.
I don't think so.
Man, what is going on with did you not do backgrounds on that?
If is that a Hanna-Barbera show?
Yes.
Yeah, you know what? I think that IMDb threw my credits onto everything Hanna-Barbera ever did. I don't think I mean, I worked on things like Flintstones, not the originals because I wasn't born.
Yeah, I was about to say, Dad, you look good for if you worked on the original Flintstones.
For 89 years old. On Flintstones, I was there for the creation of Smurfs, for sure. I was doing backgrounds. Lots of Flintstones spin-off stuff, some really weird stuff like Space Race or Ghost Space, I don't know, and commercials and stuff like that. But Gary Coleman's show, it's possible I might have done.
And I don't even know if that's Hanna-Barbera. What was the?
I don't remember.
You've done, and you know what? Hey, the rest of the kids don't remember. You know when I bring it up, so you might not remember me.
I thought you were going to say He-Man or something.
Oh, you know what? No. And let me fix this because that was the other one I was really going crazy over because I used to love He-Man as a kid. I love this show. Let me tell you something. If you worked on He-Man and tell me, all right, now I don't even know. I don't know who you are anymore. Tell me, please tell me that you worked on Fat Albert.
Yes.
Thank God. All right, we got one.
Yes.
All right.
I did some really cool backgrounds on that. I wasn't a storyboard artist yet, so I was designing backgrounds. I wasn't painting. So I'd gone from painting to designing. I came to Filmation and I started designing backgrounds for He-Man and designing backgrounds for Fat Albert. Fat Albert was so much fun.
Oh,
so much fun.
You don't understand how much. I mean, if you no matter what you did on these were so because I know at the time they were looked at as commercials, limited animation. Oh, this is cheap. But I mean, those are. They're beloved by people like me today, and I'm damn near 50 years old, and I have such fun memories of that. If I talk to anybody even touched the building that they did those cartoons in, I'm amazed by that, man. How does it feel, or how is it? Because with Filmation, at least from what I read, it sounded like or looked like you got a lot of work from Filmation back in the day. Were you around when the studio closed?
I had actually just left. I think I was doing some title sequences and stuff for Marvel. I was doing gem videos.
Oh, okay.
That was a fun year, just doing nothing but, getting a cassette tape back in the day of the gem or of the hologram songs or the Misfits, which were really fun. They'd be like, 45-second songs, right? And then I spent a lot of time watching MTV and then just drawing storyboards.
That sound like you're getting all nostalgic now. Like you're having some very fun memories.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's some good ones in there.
If you had fun making those, imagine how much fun those were for kids coming up that were watching them. I mean, how does it feel knowing that there are generations now? Kids who are coming up and even Gen Z is rediscovering some of these things. How does it feel to have that kind of impact?
It is very weird sometimes. When I met my husband, he introduced me to his kids, and they all yelled that their dog was named Fiona. They named their dog after Princess Fiona. It's very odd, when people go, "Oh, I grew up on your movies." First I feel old, and then I feel like, "Oh, that's great," because I don't have kids myself, so in a funny way, this way I have lots of them.
Yeah, you do. Hey, and look, I'm not trying to make you feel a certain way. You and I might be close in age, but whatever you did, you kind of raised me too. So,
that's awesome.
Mama Jensen over here, everybody.
Now you don't stay up too late.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And I did eat my broccoli. So I thought that you had done some animation work with Ralph Bakshi and John Kay when you had worked. There's a video out there. Of course, I can't play a lot of this because I don't want to get, taken down. That's the Harlem Shuffle from the Rolling Stones. Ralph Bakshi directed the live action parts, I believe, and John Kay, who is John Crick-Falusi, who worked on who created Ren and Stimpy. He did the animation. Now, why are you laughing now?
I never heard that.
Now again, I could be wrong. I thought you had, and I read that you had done some animation on that, but you did backgrounds. Okay, because I know you did backgrounds for Ren and Stimpy, and I don't even know if these are the ones you did, but if you did do these are gorgeous, amazing backgrounds. One of the things I love about Ren and Stimpy that John Cade created is that they made amazing backgrounds.
For Stimpy's first fart, or no, it might be called Son of Stimpy.
Okay, and
It's kind of based on Potemkin. It's very, very dramatic. He's wearing a babushka, and he's going to the big city to find his lost fart. And so I did the design, like the color, we call them color keys, so and then one or two of the full scale ones, but the color keys to set the tone and the style.
You are your work is like I said, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous. So I guess you worked on Ren and Stimpy, then you worked at John K's studio, which is Spumco, right? Of course, if anybody keeps up with animation or even just pop culture entertainment at all, it's hard to say, but John K, accused of sexual misconduct with underage girls, has become somewhat of a pariah today, somewhat of an outcast in a way. I saw a documentary where they were talking about how Spumco was almost kind of like it was fun, and women, at the time, I don't think any women felt in danger or anything. They just said it was kind of an egotistical boys club. But I don't know if that's true. How was it for you working at Spumco?
I maybe because I worked mostly at home, I didn't experience the atmosphere inside. It wasn't that different from most of the studios. Animation at that time was really a boys club, a male-dominated world, and those of us who, even at Hanna-Barbera, I was the only female background painter in the department. There were two that also worked, but they were at home. So, you kind of have to fit in. You felt back then, we didn't have anything to compare to. So we, it's like, you got to play in the boy, you got to act like you can swim in the big boy pool. And we just took it for granted. It would be like the days of Mad Men, where you just accept that it's a man's world and you got to get a tough skin, honey. And, so and look, I had a tough skin, and I wasn't easily intimidated or alienated. I'm loud, I'm opinionated. I come from a good, strong communist family where we state our opinions and we battle it out at the dinner table, So it was never anything that made me feel held back. It just felt like this is an atmosphere that I'm stuck with. So honestly, the landscape at Spumco, and later on, I worked with Ralph and John on Mighty Mouse, where then I was in house. And Ralph, he had an explosive temper, explosive personality. He'd both praise you like you're God or fire you. And there was very little in between. So, you had to be used to a really volatile atmosphere. And with John, look, I learned a lot from him. I never experienced anything inappropriate. Maybe I wasn't young enough. I don't know.
Now you're wrong for that. I thought I was bad for asking that question, but no, that's.
But look, what the thing is, he gave me all these books on like old Hollywood to look at the color, the interesting color. And if I painted something during the day and went home, in the morning there'd be Post-its all over my art, and it would point to this this plant is the color of puke, and then this brown is worse than dog shit brown. And then he would point to a sky I painted and go, now that's a sky you can lay your baby down on and have sex. So that was a compliment. So I would look at all these crazy notes and go, okay, all right, so I'll keep that sky. And then yeah, it was a very interesting experience, but I didn't experience any of that. I wasn't at the studio when the young ladies came to work there and had these experiences with him.
I gotta just say real quick, because I know you gotta go. Your interior decorating, very on point, man. That's a lovely home.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I know that I'm really impressed that we were able to fit in so much in such a short amount of time, because I know you have to go. I've been, I usually talk to people a little bit longer once things get going, especially if I'm learning something from it. And let me apologize for getting some of your information wrong. I'm usually very good at coming in here and knowing what I'm getting into.
Could be my user error. Maybe I did work on the Gary Coleman show. I just don't.
We're going to say you worked on the Gary Coleman show. Damn it. You're going to,
All right, fine.
don't take that from me.
You got me. But maybe we can talk again when my other movie comes out, my new movie.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. I mean, I know you got to go. So if you want to save another time to talk about that, but just tell people what that is very quickly.
Yeah, sure. I'm working for Skydance Animation. And this will be the second movie to come out from them. They're very new to animation, and it's super exciting. They, the studio wanted to go big and enter loud. So my movie is a musical, an Alan Menken musical with lyrics from Glenn Slater, and our writers. Lauren Hynek and Elizabeth Martin are absolutely amazing and on fire right now. The story team is fantastic. My head of story comes from great Disney, legacy, and the whole crew is amazing. We're animating in Madrid, unbelievable artists. We come out probably the holiday season of 22, so it's not that long from now. And please, I hope our theaters are open.
Yeah.
I would just love for people to come and see it at a theater. I'd love to go and sit down in a theater.
Yeah, no, and I think by that point, I'm going to a theater tonight to watch a movie, and I didn't think that was going to happen that soon. So I think you'll be fine when your movie comes out. Definitely, I would love to talk to you again. I mean, there's so much to tell about yourself. You didn't go to film school, is what I understand. You learned a lot. I mean, these are things we should talk about, when your movie comes out, if you're not too busy out there with, the big time. And
you're the big time.
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm small fry. I'm crumbs, but I appreciate you doing this. And I'll also have to tell you, if you come back, hey, you talk about Ralph Bakshi's explosive personality. He's called and cussed me out twice. So maybe you can mention that.
Well, now he'll call me after this.
Yeah, well, good. As long as he doesn't call me. So, well, Vicky, thank you so much for the interview. And like I said, congratulations on your success. Congratulations on making history, your influence, and congratulations on the upcoming project. And I really do hope that we can talk again when that comes out.
All right. Thanks, Corey. It was really fun talking to you.
It was a great time talking to you, too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And there she goes, people. Back to her busy schedule. And thank you guys for watching. Even with all that stuff I got wrong, I'm gonna kill somebody over this stuff. All this research that was given to me, and none of it was right. But no, we still had a good time. That's all that matters. And like I said, I still learned a lot from that. And I'm not lying, that woman raised me, man. If you did anything on Fat Albert,
Hey, it's Fat Albert.
and you raised me. I am your child. So, folks, I'm sure we'll be having some other people, some very interesting people, some very talented people coming in to talk to us. But until that time, I've been Corey Coleman. Hopefully I'll be Corey Coleman again. And this has been another Double Toasted interview. And we'll see you on the next one, whether it's an interview or a show or a live stream, whatever that may be. Hey, listen, even if I'm not streaming, even if I'm not talking to you, don't be afraid. Don't hesitate to talk to me. kcoolmans@gmail.com. That's KCOOLMANZ@gmail.com. You email us with any kind of questions, comments, compliments, insults, input, and our advice. Hit us up on those social medias, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Copy all the information right there. Copy it down, memorize it, love it, and use it. Also, folks, let us know your plans for Austin, Texas. Hopefully, when you come here, you'll be nice and clean because you got that nice vaccine. Because we safely want to hang out with you. So let us know your plans, whether you're moving here or just passing through. Safely want to hang out with you. All right, everyone, that is it. Thank you so much for watching or listening, and we'll see you on the next one.